Installing your Lifespan closet is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Before you begin, let's assemble the tools that are needed. Let's start with a level. Traditional levels will work if you don't have access to a laser level. If you don't have either, a straight edge will work just fine. You'll need a tape measure, a good cordless drill or screwdriver, as well as a pencil. Some helpful items would be a stud finder and some lights to illuminate your work area. Once you have your tools together, you're ready to start. Your first step will be to check the wall for straightness. Take one of your partitions and hold the thin edge up to the wall that you will be assembling your Lifespan shelving to. You're looking to see if the wall has any vertical or horizontal bows to it. If the wall has more than an 1/8 inch bow, you'll need to shim the rail. We'll cover this later in the directions. Let's assume your wall is straight. Using your level, make a level line 81 inches up from the floor. This mark will designate placement of the bottom of the top rail and will set the overall closet height at 86 inches. If you don't have a level, measure 81 inches in several spots and mark the wall. Then use your straight edge as a guide to make your line. Next, you want to find the location of your studs. Some people can do this by tapping on the wall until you hear a solid knock, and then look for painted nail heads. The more common technique is to use a stud finder. Once you identify the location of the studs, verify their location by drilling a small hole. You should feel some resistance once it gets past the sheetrock. Mark the stud center with your pencil. Take your tape measure and measure the length of your closet. Subtract 1/8 inch from the total. Cut your wedge rail to this measurement. When you are done cutting your rail, mark the corresponding stud locations onto the rail in the center of the groove. These will be your key anchor points. Using a 1/8 inch drill bit, drill a pilot hole on the mark you've made. Using 2.5 inch trim head screws, drive the screw to the surface of the wedge rail groove. Don't use sheetrock screws. They snap and won't provide your shelving with good load-bearing strength. Once you have the screws ready, finish mounting the top rail by lining up the bottom of the wedge rail to the line that you made earlier. If you are installing a longer unit, make sure that you have the ends of your rails meet at the studs. Now that you have your top rail secured, take your bottom rail and line it up below the top rail. Use the stud locations from the top rail and mark the bottom rail. Drill your starter holes and drive your screws flush so that the rail is ready to be mounted. Take 2 of your partitions and hang them on the top rail. Use the bottom notch on the partitions to locate the correct position for the next wedge rail. Affix the bottom rail by driving the screws into the studs. It will help to slide the partition next to the stud to ensure correct rail spacing along your entire wall. Rehang or move the partitions to the desired location of your shelves. Make sure they hook onto both the top and bottom wedge rails correctly. Add the earthquake clips to the desired location for your shelving. You can add your closet rod connectors to the partitions and then add your closet rod. If your closet rod is over 48 inches long, make sure you add a rod reinforcement bar. Adding more space to your life will never be any easier. Lifespan closets.